On January 6, 2025, a line was crossed. An act of aggression against the United States Navy in international waters would not go unanswered. A U.S. aircraft carrier was operating in the Red Sea when multiple high-speed contacts appeared on radar. With mere seconds to react, U.S. sailors were forced to engage, setting in motion a chain of events that demonstrated the consequences of challenging American naval power. At 1740 local time, the guided missile destroyer USS Gravely, positioned approximately 20 nautical miles from the carrier, detected telltale blips on its spy radar. Within 2 seconds, the spy's command and decision system had executed an estimated 20 million calculations, arriving at a single unavoidable conclusion: inbound missiles. Upon confirming the threat, the Gravely sounded the general quarters alarm. Sailors raced to their battle stations. The Gravely alerted the carrier, which initiated an emergency launch sequence, bringing its offline engines online. Within 90 seconds, the Gravely would be at full power, steaming towards the carrier at 30 knots. But in naval combat, seconds can be the difference between survival and annihilation. The electronic warfare specialists quickly identified the incoming signals as emanating from 2 Chinese-designed C-802 anti-ship missiles. A mainstay of the Houthi arsenal, the C-802 boasts a range of approximately 150 nautical miles. This subsonic missile travels at around 610 miles per hour, carrying a 364-pound armor-piercing warhead. Its sea-skimming capability allows it to fly just above the water's surface, attempting to evade radar detection. With the missiles at a range of 150 nautical miles, they would be within range of the Gravely's SM-2 missiles in a matter of moments. The SM-2, or Standard Missile 2, is the backbone of the Navy's air defense system. These missiles can reach speeds of Mach 3.5 with a maximum range of around 105 miles. The Gravely launched 2 SM-2 Block 3 Alpha missiles at the incoming C-802s. The Block 3 Alpha, a less advanced variant, was deemed sufficient for this low and slow threat, preserving the more sophisticated SM-2 missiles for higher capability adversaries. But no missile, regardless of its sophistication, is effective unless it hits its target. After the initial salvo, the SPY-RADAR detected a large DEBRI SFIELD with substantial MISSILE fragments that could indicate the MISSILES were still inbound. To ensure complete neutralization, the Gravely double-tapped the threats, launching 2 more missiles toward the debris field. By 1757, spy radar confirmed that all threats had been neutralized at a safe distance of 75 nautical miles. But there was little time for celebration. At 1800, SPYRADAR detected 4 new contacts. These were significantly slower and smaller than the C-802S. Signal analysis identified them as 4 Shahed 136 attack drones. With a top speed of 115 miles per hour, these drones carry a 50-pound warhead. While a hit from one of these drones might not sink a warship, the Navy was not willing to absorb the damage. Given the relatively low sophistication of the drones, the ship's captain decided against expending costly missiles. Wasting a $3 million missile on a $5,000 drone plays directly into the enemy's strategy. Instead, the captain allowed the drones to close to within 10 miles of the ship. The Gravely executed a maneuver, turning its stern toward the incoming drones. This was not an act of retreat, but a calculated move to unmask its close-in weapon system, the Sea Whiz. The Sea Whiz is typically a last-ditch defense against incoming missiles. However, it is also highly effective against slow-moving drones, helicopters, and surface contacts. At 10 nautical miles, the Sea Whiz's radar began tracking the drones, developing fire control solutions. When the drones reached a distance of 3 nautical miles, the captain gave the order to engage. The Sea Whiz unleashed a devastating barrage of 20mm shells, firing between 3,000 and 4,500 rounds per minute. The system can engage multiple targets in milliseconds, far faster than human reaction time. All 4 drones were reduced to debris floating on the water's surface. With confirmation of the successful shoot-down, the crew informed the carrier that the threat had been neutralized. Although the Houthi later claimed to have hit the USS HARRYSTRUMAN. Subsequent footage showed normal flight operations, with aircraft taking off and landing without any visible damage. Despite suffering no physical damage, the United States was now determined to respond decisively. Finding the origin point of these missiles and drones in a war-torn country like Yemen, however, is no easy task. For more than a decade, Yemen has been a battleground, with a multitude of armed groups operating within its borders. interceptors. Separating Houthi rebels from government forces, Saudi troops, and other factions requires sophisticated intelligence gathering and analysis. The US relies on cutting-edge technology to pinpoint enemy positions. Satellites, often associated with GPS and global communications, play a critical role in this process. These satellites are equipped with advanced thermal imagers, courtesy of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency and the Defense Intelligence Agency. A thermal image of Yemen reveals significant temperature variations. Outside of major population centers, the desert landscape cools significantly at night. Any anomalous heat signatures in these cold areas stand out. In this instance, the satellite detected a 27-degree Fahrenheit difference in temperature in areas outside of Sanasea and Seda. This stark contrast is indicative of underground activity consistent with Houthi weapons storage practices. But a single thermal image is not enough to justify military action. That is where the MQ-9 Reaper and the RC-135 rivet joint aircraft come into play. Both are used for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance missions. While the Reaper can be armed, its primary role on January 7th was to confirm the satellite-identified areas. The Reaper loitered over the target areas, collecting photographic evidence during a 27-hour mission before returning to an airfield in Djibouti. The high-resolution photographs clearly showed underground bunker entrances and tunnel systems, even from an altitude of 50,000 feet. The RC-135 rivet joint, with its sophisticated signal collection equipment, intercepted Houthi communications related to the sites, further corroborating the photographic evidence. With the two missile storage facilities now confirmed by 3 independent sources, the USS Harry S. Truman, the USS Gravely, and the USS Carney began orchestrating a coordinated strike. F-18 Super Hornets launched from the deck of the Truman, while the crews of the destroyers finalized their Tomahawk launch plan. The goal was to cripple the storage facilities with Tomahawk cruise missiles, creating openings for bunker-buster bombs delivered by the F-18s. The F-18s, flying at approximately 600 miles per hour, would take 30 minutes to cover the 300 nautical mile distance to the targets. The Tomahawk missiles, traveling at around 550 miles per hour, would be approximately 3 minutes behind. At precisely 0205 local time on January 8th, the Gravely and the Carney launched a barrage of 6 Tomahawk missiles each, for a total of 12. As the missiles reached their first pre-planned waypoint, the classified mission library took over. The mission library, created by planners off the ship at higher headquarters, contains the detailed waypoints the missile will follow over land. These waypoints take into account terrain height, enemy radar coverage, and environmental data. The Tomahawks follow these waypoints with remarkable precision. The missiles constantly adjust their altitude using a system called TERCOM, or terrain contour matching. Using a built-in altimeter, the missiles measure their distance to the ground in real time, maintaining an altitude of just 50 to 80 meters. The missile can do this for its entire operational range of approximately 1,000 nautical miles. Even with TERCOM, identifying targets in Yemen's featureless terrain is a challenge. That is where the Tomahawk's second guidance system comes in, Digital Scene Matching Area Correlation, or DSMAC. Satellite images of the areas along the missile's waypoints are uploaded to the mission library. As the missile flies, it continually takes pictures and compares them to the stored images. If they match, the missile knows it is on track. DSMAC has been shown to increase the accuracy of Tomahawk missiles by an astounding 90%. At precisely 0238, the Tomahawk missiles slammed into the Houthi bunkers, delivering nearly 1,000 pounds of explosives with each impact. The entrances were engulfed in flames and smoke, providing a clear visual target for the incoming F-18 pilots. The F-18s were each equipped with 2 GBU-31 Joint Direct Attack Munitions, or JDAMs, under each wing. A cylindrical pod, the ASQ-228 SNIPERADVANCEDTARGETING POD, was mounted by Station 5 next to the forward FUSELAGE. The SNIPERPOD is a LASERDESIGNATOR, guiding the BOMBS to their targets. The pod emits a coded laser beam, allowing the GBU series bombs to lock onto the target. It can also provide GPS coordinates to the JDAMs. Once the pilots locked on, they released their weapons, watching as the sniper pods guided them directly into the holes created by the Tomahawks. The strikes were a direct hit. While exact Houthi casualty figures were not disclosed, 2 massive craters marked the location of the former weapons storage sites. The attack triggered at least 10 secondary detonations, with an estimated 30 to 50 Houthi cruise missiles exploding. Although the attack only temporarily halted Houthi attacks for approximately 6 weeks, it served as a clear reminder of the consequences of aggression against the United States Navy. How far will the US military go to protect freedom of navigation? And what will be the long-term implications of these escalating engagements? This is Goba Military, and subscribe for more real-time battlefield breakdowns and tactical deep dives.